Welcome in, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I see the comment section going off. I'm going to answer those questions in a few minutes. But I wanted to come in tonight and talk a little bit about, of course, the news today with the legendary Hank Aaron passing away. We may talk a little bit of baseball towards the end of it, but primarily we're going to focus in on Hank Aaron's legacy, Phil Niekro's legacy, and of course Don Sutton's as well. Of course, losing Hank Aaron today puts him at the forefront. I was actually planning on doing a tribute video for Don Sutton today, and that sort of got derailed. Unfortunately, when you lose this many guys so quickly, it's easy to look past a couple. But within a month and a half, we've lost 3 Hall of Famers that have had a very close relationship with the Atlanta Braves. One being Phil Niekro, the longtime knuckleballer, good friend of mine. Second being Don Sutton, longtime broadcaster, guy that kept me entertained on Friday nights when I was out and about, or whenever I was in the car and I couldn't listen to Chip Carey. I was listening to none other than Don Sutton most of those nights. So, it's been a tough time, and obviously losing Hank Aaron was a big shock. I found out early today, and Hank is a guy that I never had the opportunity to meet. I'd met Don Sutton, and of course I'd met Phil Niekro, but I'd never met Hank Aaron, and that's something that I always wished I could. I know it'll be something I wish I could have done 10 years from now, 20 years from now, even when I'm older. But I can tell you this, if you didn't see my video earlier today, I have heard unlimited amount of stories concerning Hank Aaron. They are unmatched. Just his kindness, not even so much the legends, that you typically would hear about a player, how hard he hit, things like that. I heard stories about how nice of a man he was. If you go watch that video, you'll hear from a guy named Adrian Devine. Might be a name some of you older guys are familiar with. He was a pitcher back in the 70s, 80s, throughout the Braves organization. At that time, he had long curly hair. These days, he doesn't. But in that video, he talks about a story where Hank Aaron took the time with him and with his father. And it's just a really special moment for him, and it was really cool to hear. I've heard stories of, from Chief Nakahoma, just how nice Hank was to him, and he certainly didn't have to be. And that's the biggest thing, is how nice he was when he didn't have to be. And if you saw the video that I played come into this live stream, there's cases of where Hank had to deal with things that we'll never understand. Hopefully we never see again. And he did it very graciously. A lot of people, compare that to Jackie Robinson. I think that's a very fair comparison. But let's talk about his accolades for a minute. If you missed the live stream earlier it wasn't mine, but it was with Chipper Jones, it was with Brian Jordan, a couple Braves people, Braves organization people. We're all doing a live stream with the media. I tuned in. I don't know if you guys saw that and tuned in, but Chipper Jones brought up a very interesting point. If you look at the back of Hank Aaron's baseball cards, the numbers are very small because of how many years he played, how many stats there were to show. Obviously, everybody knows about the home run record. That's no secret. A lot of people think he's the rightful home run king. I'm certainly not out of that crowd. But at the same time, he leads all time in RBIs. He's a 3-time Gold Glover. He's a MVP. He won the batting title twice. And he wasn't, I said this earlier, but if he wasn't a slugger per se, he wasn't Barry Bonds, where he's hitting homers all the time. Hank Aaron was a player. He was a hitter. He was an outfielder. He was a line drive hitter. And he knew how to get it out of the ballpark, but that wasn't all his game. He was a much more complete player than a lot of people give him credit for, just because they don't know. They see that one clip with the fireworks and Move Over Babe, and they forget about a lot of what his game was. I wish, like I said, I wish I got the opportunity to meet Hank Aaron. He is in that case right there next to Warren Spahn and Eddie Matthews, but I did never get to meet Hank Aaron, unfortunately. If you got a story about Hank Aaron, I'd love to hear it. I'd love to read it in the comment section, so make sure you drop it there. If you're new to the channel, of course, subscribe. I always appreciate that. But today's not really a typical day. I don't really have a show put together for you guys. I'm kind of just here spitballing more or less. But tomorrow I'll have some more positive, hopefully, news out of Braves country. Maybe some theories about who I think they're going to go get. But obviously a very big loss out of Atlanta. So let's see what you guys got to say. Hey, Bash Brothers, how we doing? Do I think that the Atlanta Braves should name the field after Hank Aaron? I'll tell you this. I don't know how to say your name, but I'll tell you this. Last year, I guess it was, when they renamed from SunTrust to Truist, they made a very big deal. I don't know if you guys remember this, but they made a very big deal about unveiling a new name for the stadium. And I thought that's what was going to happen. And not because I think that's what should have happened, but I thought that's what was going to happen, or something of that nature. Because not so much, obviously the company name changed from SunTrust to Truist, but I thought because they were making such a deal about it, Braves marketing people, that it was going to be something special. And of course, it was just flip the name. It was nothing major. It was more of a contract thing than anything else. But I thought it would be Hank Aaron Field at Truist Park. And that would not surprise me if they decided to do it at any point. But also remember, Hank Aaron is all over that stadium. Hank Aaron Terrace. Monument Park has a giant statue of Hank Aaron. He is not forgotten about. City of Atlanta has certainly not forgotten him. He is all over Atlanta. The marker where he hit 715 is still there where Fulton County used to be. You can drive out there and see it. I did it not too long ago. You can do that. But yeah, I certainly wouldn't fight it there, Yasuki. I hope I said that right. But I certainly wouldn't fight it. I'm not going to say that the Braves will do it. I'm not going to say they should do it. That is obviously their decision. But I thought they were going to do it. I will tell you that. You also said that the number 44 should be retired by all Georgia sports teams. Again, I will not fight it. Bash Brothers, hello. RIP to a great legend. Not only baseball, Rusty, how you doing? Not only baseball, but the world has lost a great baseball player, a role model, and a great man. I am heartbroken. Yeah, I'll tell you, I was sitting there today at lunch, actually, a place I go to a lot in town here, and I read it off my phone and to the person I was eating with, and they obviously acted in shock, and the people around me all turned around and asked me if I was serious. And I said, yeah. And it hit a lot of the older crowd that way. It hit me that way. The guy I was eating with looked like he was going to be sick. It's obviously a very tough day. It's not something we needed right now, I don't think. I was really hoping we could get through a little while. As bad as it is to say, I was really hoping we could, have a few months of just peace. Because, we've lost so many legends these past few months. Tommy Lasorda's another one. I know he's not necessarily a Braves guy, but he's a baseball guy. And we've just lost a lot, especially here in Braves country. But it's a sad day. But, Hank wouldn't want us to think that way. His legacy will always be remembered. It's been rough for Braves fans and Braves country losing those three icons. I agree. Love that the other Atlanta-based sports team, especially the Atlanta Falcons and Atlanta United, are going to retire number 44 in Hank Aaron's memory. Yeah, I think that's a very good gesture. I think, Hank was a guy that, when the Braves first came, there was virtually, for the 80s, there was virtually nobody except Murphy and Bob Horner maybe, but in terms of Hall of Fame caliber players, there wasn't really any. Well, with the exception of Phil Niekro, there was no position player in that fit, and Hank Aaron was the guy in Atlanta for a long time through the 70s. He was the guy. He's still marketed all over Atlanta. He is Atlanta. I know he played Milwaukee too, but he is Atlanta Braves all over. It's a shame. I hate it got him a little young, to tell you the truth, but. His memory will certainly not be forgotten. I'll tell you that I know plenty of people that have met him. Again, I never got the opportunity, but I know plenty of people that got to meet him. And you've heard stories all day long about how much he meant to different people that got to interact with him, got to see him on a daily basis. Chipper Jones came out and talked about it today. My buddy Kevin McAlpin, if you haven't seen it, go check it out, 680 The Fan. They had a whole crew line of people that have interacted with Hank, just telling stories. And it's a sad day for Braves country. It's been a sad month and a half, really. Um, Phil Niekro really hit me hard. Don Sutton. I didn't even get to talk about this, so I'm going to do it now, I guess. I did meet Don Sutton. Not to the level of Phil Niekro, but I did meet Don Sutton. Don Sutton, the way this went down is actually, it's a story worth telling. Don Sutton, all these autographs here, he's up here somewhere. Don Sutton, I met Don Sutton in the last season of Turner Field. I wasn't in the stadium. There was a media entrance in the back of the stadium. And I met Don. Basically, the rumor was you could get autographs there. So we went. And Don Sutton, of course, was not an Atlanta Brave. He was a Los Angeles Dodger, Astro, Angel, I think, and a Brewer. So he was a Hall of Famer, though. So I was going to get him on a baseball. And he came walking up. And the rumor was you don't approach him. You don't surround him. You don't do any of that. He will not sign. So everybody out there knew the deal. And it was about 20 of us. Everybody out there knew the deal. They all stood in a line, single file. And Don Sutton walked up, parked his briefcase, set it down, and turned around and said, "All right, let's go." But before he did, before he really got settled, this lady walked up and interrupted the line. And I don't think she knew. It wasn't intentional, but I don't think she knew what the deal was that, I just told you about. And she walked up, and she said, "Mr. Sutton, will you sign my grandson's baseball?" And he looked at her and just said, "Back to the line, back to the line. You think you're at Burger King or something? Back to the line." And because I was worried he wasn't going to sign. And he did, and it was a very funny moment. And then he took all the time in the world for us. I got a picture with him. I wish I had thought to put it in here, but I didn't. But he was just very, very friendly, very accommodating. Talked to me for 5 or 10 minutes, and he went in to Turner Field. But those kind of moments are what's good for baseball. Players that do that. Hank was like that, as far as I know. In his older age, he wasn't able to get out as much, I'm sure. But while he was young, I remember watching him not too long ago put home plate down at SunTrust Park at the time. Before that, he did it at Atlanta. Just the moments he had throughout his career are worth remembering. And this live stream's not going to be very long. I'm not going to be on here very long, but I wanted to come talk to you guys today. Before we get into some real things tomorrow, just some things concerning the Braves. But, Don Sutton, Phil Niekro, Hank Aaron, those are names that are entrenched in baseball history through the Hall of Fame. And, of course, they mean something to Braves country. I think all the social media, if you go look at my Twitter feed right now, it is nothing but Hank Aaron. If you go search on Facebook, nothing but Hank Aaron. I think that's probably the case for a lot of you guys and for just a lot of people around the world. And, Hank meant a lot to the country, I think. Civil rights icon in a lot of ways. And I think it's fair to say that he made a difference. He traveled the world. He was a baseball ambassador. I mean, I don't know what else there is to say. He's just a good man. And I'm sad he's gone. I think the overall attitude is just sadness. But I think that's going to wrap it up for me here. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm going to play that video that I started the live stream with in just a second. But before I leave, if you're new here, subscribe, tell your friends about it, and of course, support the channel. I do appreciate it. But at the end of the day, we're here to celebrate the life of Phil Niekro, Don Sutton, and of course, Hank Aaron. Phil Niekro left us at the tail end of 2020 after his long battle with cancer. The knuckleballer had a special